Good morning, one and all. Today, we are going to solve a problem on economic load dispatch with the load cycle. Actually, daily load cycle they have given. Take on this problem. Yeah, power plant has two units with the following cost characteristics. C1 is equal to 0.6 P1 square plus 200 P1 plus 2000 rupees per hour. Next is C2 is equal to 1.2 P2 square plus 150 P2 plus 2500 rupees per hour. That P1 and P2 are the generating powers in megawatt. The daily load cycle is as follows. So daily load cycle they have given, that is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 150 megawatt. Next is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. 50 megawatt. The cost of taking either unit of the line and returning to the service after 12 hours is given as rupees 5,000. That is the cost of taking either unit off the line and returning to the service after 12 hours, that is given as 5,000. Considering a 12 hours period from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. one morning to 6 a.m. the next morning. So first, what you need to calculate it. Would it be economical to keep both units in service for this 24 period, or remove one unit from the service for 12 hours period from 6 p.m. one evening to 6 a.m. the next morning? So that is one question. Next question is compute the economic schedule for the peak load and off peak load condition. So next is calculate the optimum operating cost per day. So this sort of questions they may ask in exam. Why? Because here economic load dispatch with the load cycle is given, and load cycle there are two cases are given. Already we have solved a simple problem like this. There the condition they are not given, just with the load cycle they asked to solve for economic load dispatch. But in this clearly they asked for this period of time, economic load dispatch, and also so they have given certain conditions. So would it be economical to, so for 24 hours of period of time, whether it is economical to keep the both units in service, or otherwise any one unit like that they ask, or remove one unit from the service for 12 hours of period, that is from 6 p.m. That is from evening to next day morning 6 a.m. That is one question they asked. And they asked to compute the economic schedule for the peak load and off peak load condition and calculate the optimal operating cost per day. So these are the questions they ask. So first C1 is given. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the differentiation, that is incremental cost function. So differentiating with respect to P1. Actually, this is P1 squared, here also P2 square. Actually, this square is not mentioned. Instead of they are given like 2. Actually, it is P1 square. Carryover square. So here what I did is here differentiate with respect to P1. So if you differentiate, it is IC1. So IC1 is equal to 1.2. So 0.6 into 2 is 1.2 P1 plus 200. Next IC2 is equal to, here also while differentiating you will get as 2.4 P2 plus 150. 2.4 P2 plus 150. That is, I have taken as IC1, like in different notation we have solved before problem also, like DC1 divided by DP1 also you can take, DC2 divided by DP2 also take. So for simplifying, I've taken as IC1 and IC2. That's all. So IC1 and IC2 is equal to lambda. So what I did is I'm equating this both equation, that is this two equation IC1 and IC2, that is 1.2 P1 plus 200 is equal to 2.4 P2 plus 150. Equating this and simplifying, you will get the one equation. Okay, taking this P2 here this side. So 1.2 P1 minus 2.4 P2 is equal to minus 50. Take this as equation number 1. So two cases are given. First case that is for this much 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 150 megawatt demand is 150 megawatt. Second case 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. demand is 50 megawatt. So the first case I have taken, that is PD is equal to 150 megawatt. So if PD is equal to 150 megawatt, then P1 plus P2 is equal to 150. Take this as equation number 2. Solving the equation 1 and 2 by using your scientific calculator. Simple, very simple. You can solve with your scientific calculator. Then you'll get the answer as P1 is equal to 86.11 megawatt and P2 is equal to 63.89 megawatt. Now, what we are doing, this is the economic load dispatch value for the case number 1, that is PD is equal to 150. Now we are substituting P1 and P2 in C1 and C2 to find out the cost, that is rupees per hour. So in the cost function, we are substituting, that is 0.6 into P1 squared plus 200 into P1 plus 2000. Here I am substituting P1 is equal to 86.11. After substituting 86.11, simplifying, we are getting the answer as C1 is equal to 23,670.95 rupees per hour. As I said before, so whatever given in the problem. So here, this problem we solved in rupees per hour. So some other problem will be solved in dollars per hour, some other problem euros per hour. So whatever the thing given, problems they have given, you just solve it. That's all. Units not at all a matter. So even it is in yen or in dollars. So whatever the euros, whatever you have to solve. So here while solving, we are getting the cost function as 23,670.95 rupees per hour. Similarly, I'm substituting P2 is equal to 63.89 megawatt in C2. While substituting here, this cost function 2 becomes 1.2 into P2 squared plus 150 into P2 plus 2,500. While substituting P2 is equal to 63.89 here. So here substituting and simplifying, we are getting the C2 answer as cost as 16,981.81 rupees per hour. C2, the total cost is equal to C1 plus C2. So we need to add C1 plus C2 and we are getting the answer as 4652.76 rupees per hour. Total cost for first case, that is by taking PD as 150 megawatt. Now, while taking PD as 50 megawatt, that is the case number 2 that is given here. So that is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Demand is 50 megawatt. While taking the PDS 50 megawatt, that is P1 plus P2 is equal to 50. Take this as equation number 3. Solving equation 1 and 3. So this equation already we framed, no? Solving equation 1 and 3. After solving with your scientific calculator, we are getting the answer as P1 as 19.44 megawatt and P2 as 30.56 megawatt. Substitute this P1 and P2 in C1 and C2, that is the cost equation. After substituting, that is P1 as 19.44 megawatt and P2 as 30.56 megawatt in C2. After substituting, we are getting the like a cost 1 as 6114.74 rupees per hour, and even in cost 2 we are substituting P2 here and we are getting the cost 2 as C2 as 8204.69 rupees per hour. So after that, what we are doing is we are calculating the total cost. Total cost is equal to C1 plus C2. Just we are adding this. Here we are getting the answer as total cost for second case, that is PD is equal to 50 megawatt as 14,319.43 rupees per hour. So problem didn't completed. Actually, if you complete up to this, they will instead of 10 marks, they will give only 2 marks because problem not yet completed. Because main problem is, so what they asked is, first they asked first we calculated the computer economic schedule we calculated. Next they asked optimum operating cost per day, and also the one condition they have given. Would it be economical to keep both units in service for 24 period or remove one unit from service for 12 hours period from 6 p.m. That is to 6 a.m. That is second part alone they are asking. Second part alone they are asking the next one. So second, would it be economical to keep the both units in service for 24 hours? And for second part, that is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Alone, they are asking whether if you are operating that for particular period alone, then what might be the cost, whether it will be economical or not, that they are asking. So what you need to do is, and also optimum operating cost per day also there. So first what I did is for load cycle 150 megawatt, the total cost already we calculated from our previous calculation, that is 4652.76 rupees per hour. This load is for 12 hours alone. That is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That is given in the problem. So what we are doing is we are calculating for 12 hours. So 12 into this cost. So it will give the cost for one operating cost for 12 hours alone. So if you multiply this with the whatever the calculated cost, that is total cost, we are getting the cost as rupees like 4,87,833.12. That is the cost of operation of for 12 hours for when it is 150 megawatt. Next, for the load cycle 50 megawatt. So 50 megawatt means for 12 hours, again 12 hours from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So what we are doing is already we calculated this cost for 6 hours. Yeah, this total cost. 14319.43 rupees per hour. So here, what we are doing is just we are multiplying with 12 hours. So we are getting the total cost of operation for that 12 hours period. That is, if you multiply this, we are getting as, sorry, here for a 50 megawatt, while multiplying this with 12 hours, we are getting the cost for 12 hours period for 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. as, that is 1,71,833.18 rupees. So that is the cost for 12 hours of operation when it is operated for like demand for 50 megawatt and also for this period, that is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Now, case one. So what they asked is whether for second cycle alone, for this 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. alone, given in the problem, for second cycle alone, they asked to calculate. So if you read the question once again, so would it be economical to keep the both units in service for 24 hours or remove one unit from the service for 12 hours period from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. alone, they asked in the question. So this case alone, what we did is we are taken into account and we are calculating, take first take P1 as 0 and P2 as 50 megawatt. P1 as 0 megawatt and P2 as 50 megawatt. And unit 2 is operating. That is for this period alone. This period alone for 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. alone operating. So now we are substituting P2 as 50 megawatt in C2, because only unit 2 alone is operating, no? So if you substitute, if you substitute P1 is equal to 50 megawatt and P2 is equal to 0 megawatt, and P1 is equal to 50 megawatt in unit 1 alone, then we need to substitute in cost function 1. So that is 0.6 into P1 square plus 200 into P1 plus 2000 rupees per hour. So here what we are doing is we are substituting P1 is equal to 50 megawatt alone and P2 is equal to 0. So 50 megawatt we are substituting P1 here, and after that we are calculating C1 as 13,500 rupees per hour. That is the cost function 1. Next, case number 2. Take P1 is equal to 0 megawatt and P2 is equal to 50 megawatt. If the unit 2 is alone operating, if unit 2 is alone operating, then we are substituting P2 is equal to 50 megawatt in C2. That is cost function 2. Then we are getting 1.2 into 50 square plus 150 into 50 plus 2,500, because 50 is nothing but here P2 and here also P2. So we are calculating C2 as 13,000 rupees per hour. So from the generating units, unit 1 and 2, it is economical to operate unit 2 alone. So why? Because when we compare this both cost, this unit 2 cost is alone will be economical because it is less compared to cost 1 because it is 13,500. This is 13,000 alone. So from the generating units 1 and 2, it is economical to operate at unit 2 alone. If one unit is running during off period time, the cost towards off and on. That is cost towards stopping that generator and again running that generator back also must be taken into account. So if the if only one unit is running, that is during the off period, the cost towards the off and on, okay, that is stopping and running back alone must be taken. Okay, that is the economical because if again if you operate again this operating cost will be more, that is stopping and running cost will be more. So that's what, if only one unit is running during the off period, then cost towards off and on will be reduced, and also that also will be taken into account here. So therefore, the off peak period, when unit two alone operating, what is the cost we calculated? That is 13,000 rupees per hour. So the cost of operation for unit 2, because that is for only 12 hours. So what we are doing is we are just multiplying it with 12 hours, and plus this 5,000 also we are adding. Because why this 5,000 we are adding that? In the question it is given, the condition it is given. If you read out the question once again, the cost taking either the unit either unit off the line and returning to the service after 12 hours is 5,000. So what we need to do is you need to add this 5,000 there. Okay, the cost taking either unit off the line and turning to the service after 12 hours is 5,000. So this 5,000 also we need to add over here. That here. So this 13,000 into 12 plus 5,000. So after calculating, we are getting the answer as 1,61,000 rupees. That is the cost of operation for off peak period when unit 2 alone operating. That is for the 12 hours, and also this cost also we are between the economic load dispatch value for 50 megawatts and the case 1 and 2. Because economic load dispatch also we calculated that cost is rupees 1 lakh, that is for 50 megawatt I'm speaking about. For 50 megawatt, we did it and calculated the cost, that is 1,71,833.80 rupees. And the case 1 and case 2. Case 1 from the case 1 and case 2 is economical, and the case 2 cost like whole cost we calculated, cost of operation of case 2 alone, that we calculated, that is rupees 1,61,000. So when compared to this case, that is 1,71,833, and this case, that is 1,61,000, this is somewhat cheaper because choice of operating in case 2. This is the case 2, that is operating only unit 2 alone, that is for 50 megawatt, and P1 as 0. So that case alone is the cheaper. So therefore, what we are doing is, therefore, from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., it is better to operate unit 2 alone. It is better to operate unit 2 alone. That is cost of operation for peak period. Cost of operation for peak period is 4,87,833.12. That is from with 150 megawatt. Already we calculated here. Yeah, with the 150 megawatt already we calculated, that is the cost for 150 megawatt, that is rupees 4,87,833.12. That we calculated. So that cost, that is cost for peak period, that is from one period, that is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So for one period, that is the rupees. Then next is the cost of operation for off peak period. Off peak period means that 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So that cost also we calculated, that is 1,61,000. Okay. Now, therefore, the optimal cost per day is equal to this plus this. This cost plus this, that is 4,87,833.12 plus 1,61,000. Sorry, yeah, 1,61,000. We'll be adding this, the 6 lakhs 48,833.12. This is the optimal operating cost per day. So likewise, they asked. So we calculated all three. Whatever they asked in the problem, all three we calculated. First, we did this also. First, we did the economic schedule for both offload and peak load. That also we did. Next, this condition also be satisfied. Okay. So this condition that is for 12 hours of period, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So what will be, which will be the economical? That also we did. Okay, and also optimum operating cost per day also we calculated. So this question, if they ask in exam, this might be somewhat confusing. Okay, but you need to read the question clearly. That is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 12 hours, 150 megawatt. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. is that is for again 12 hours, 50 megawatt. But the condition is clearly given. So based on the condition, you need to solve the problem. Okay, and this is one of the 10 mark question. 10 mark question. If they ask, you need to solve